welcome back to another new video of Print Paper Physics. This is current electricity and we are on module 3, that is it is a third lecture on current electricity. In this lecture we will basically learn about EMF, potential difference, terminal voltage, all these terms. So basically this video is emphasized on the difference between EMF and the potential difference. So without wasting any more time, let's wait. Before let's going into the video, please make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet subscribed and press the bell notification so that whenever I upload a video, you get the notification. Now let's move into the video. So first we will go for a real life scenario and then we will relate it to the electric circuits. Okay, so now follow that. Suppose there is a place at a height and this is your ground. A ball is here. Suppose it may be a heel, it could be anything. So a ball is here. Now you want the ball to flow down. This region is called higher potential region. So I will write higher U. As you know that U is a symbol for potential energy. And this region is called lower potential energy or lower U. Now I want the ball to come down from here to here through this path. That we need to understand one thing, that we don't need to give any force to ball to fall down from there. It will automatically come down because of the difference in potential energy. So by nature, the ball will fall. So the first point that we understood over here, that whenever there is a change in potential energy, automatically any object flows from higher potential energy to lower potential energy. Let me write it. Any object will flow automatically from higher potential energy to lower potential energy. Clear? So any object will flow automatically from higher potential energy to lower potential energy. We don't need to give any kind of force, anything to that. It will automatically happen. But my next question is, when a body is coming down from higher potential energy to lower potential energy, what happens to this change in energy? Like for example over here, if this is having a value of U1, this is having a value of U2, so obviously we can say that U1 is greater than U2 because it is at higher potential, it is at lower potential. So what happens to this change in potential? What happens to this energy? This energy will be converted to kinetic energy. That means when the ball is coming down over here at this region, the ball will have a kinetic energy due to which the ball will move. Clear? The ball will further move ahead in this direction because of the kinetic energy that it has gained due to this change in potential energy. Clear? Clear about this scenario? Now we will go to the next case. Now in next case, the ball is suppose over here at lower potential energy and I want the ball to move up over here. Will it go automatically? No. The ball won't flow automatically. Over here, we need to give some force to the ball so that the ball goes up. Okay? So we need to give a driving force to it. Because of this driving force or because of this reason, the ball will automatically move up with the help of the force that is given over here, or more specifically we can say we need to provide energy to it so that it can move up. Okay, clear? Okay, so now we will relate the analogy that we have learnt over here back in this previous case, where the object is, the ball is automatically flowing from a higher potential to lower, but from lower to higher it needs a force to move. Okay, a driving force. Now we will understand the same thing in case of current. Now what happens, suppose we have the two terminals of a battery. Okay, this is a positive terminal, this is a negative terminal. Now what happens in the negative terminal? Basically, in negative terminal we have more number of electrons, right? And in positive terminal we have positive charges. Cool. Now when you are connecting them, these two terminals with a wire, when you are connecting these two terminals with a wire, what will happen? We know that electrons will start flowing from negative terminal to the positive terminal. Electrons will start flowing over here. Now how long? It is an automatic process. Okay, the electrons will automatically flow from here to here. It doesn't need any kind of force to move because of this difference in their charges. Okay, so now electrons are automatically flowing, and by nature we say that the current will flow in opposite direction. That means from positive terminal to negative terminal the current is flowing. But the question is, how long will it flow? How long? It will automatically stop once the number of electrons or the number of charges on both sides become same. Automatically that time it will stop flowing. Now in real life also, once the electrons have started flowing from the negative terminal to positive terminal, after a certain time it will automatically stop. But does it happen in real life? No. We get a continuous flow of current. Now why are we getting that continuous flow of current? The reason behind it, we can say, is the battery. Now what does battery actually do over here? In battery is working as the engine of a car, you can say, which tries to move on a hill. Suppose the car is over here, now the car wants to move here. So it needs an extra force to move. It needs a driving force to move from a lower potential energy to higher potential energy. So that time the car engine will provide you the necessary force to move from here to here, to overcome the gravitational force and move into the opposite lower potential energy to higher potential energy region. Similarly, over here in this region, the battery does the work. And what does it do? Battery basically sends the electrons. Now electrons are automatically flowing from here and they are coming back here. Now electrons will say, okay, I have neutralized a positive charge and I don't want to go anymore, I am so tired. But battery will tell the electrons, no, you cannot stop here. Battery will transfer those electrons back again to the negative terminal against the force. Which force? Basically these positive charges will try to attract the electrons. Moreover, these electrons will try to repel the electrons. So they are attracting it towards this side. Electrons are also repelling it towards this side. But battery is working over here and sending those electrons back again to this terminal, due to which we are continuously having a difference. The difference is maintained over here, and because of this maintained difference, the current is continuously flowing on. Clear? So this is what the battery does in a circuit. It accelerates the electron from here to here. It sends the electron back from positive terminal to negative terminal so that we can have a continuous difference and the current is continuously moving on. And this is what the battery provides. The term we use is EMF, electromotive force. Now, though it is called a force, but it is not actually a force. Its name is force, and if you are studying it for first time, you will think, okay, so battery is providing a force and the EMF is a type of force. So in that logic, the SI unit should be Newton, but no, it is not actual force. It is not a force. Okay, it is basically work, a type of work, the work done by battery. The battery is doing some work in moving that charge. That is what is known as electromotive force. Now we will go into the deeper knowledge of electromotive force, but first we will learn how to relate that electromotive force and potential difference. So I can say over here that this is a negative terminal of a battery which is having some potential, electric potential. This is a positive terminal of battery which is also having some potential. So if I term it as VA and this is as VB, so there is a potential difference between these two terminals. This is what we know as potential difference. So electromotive force is the reason due to which a continuous potential difference is maintained in a circuit, and because of that maintained potential difference, the current is continuously moving on. So we can say in another word that electromotive force is the reason due to which we are having a difference, or we can say electromotive force is the reason due to which we have a potential difference, and because of that potential difference, current is continuously going on. Okay, this is the concept of EMF and potential. Now we will go for the technical definitions and differences between these two terms. Okay, so basically what happens, let us take a point over here, P. I don't know why I am always writing P, but it's P, chalo, no problem. So I am taking a point P. Now I have a unit positive charge. I am saying it's a unit positive charge. So I am moving that unit positive charge and it is at infinity. Infinity means, those who don't know, it's a very large distance. Though if I draw it at a large distance, it won't be fitted in the same camera frame. So I'm writing it over here and just assume this is an infinite separation between them. Okay. So we have a unit positive charge at infinity. I am bringing that unit positive charge from infinity to this point. Okay, now whenever we are moving a charge, we have to do some work. We have to do some work whenever we are moving a charge. Okay, so I am bringing a unit positive charge from infinity to that point, and the work done in moving that charge. Which charge? Unit positive charge. The work done in moving that charge is known as the potential of that point. Okay. Now if I ask you, chalo, I'll write it that potential over here is Vp. Excuse me. So I write it as Vp. So if Vp is the potential over here, So Vp is the work done in moving a unit positive charge. But in reality, it is not possible for us to have a unit positive charge because it's a very small value. So I will take that I have moved any arbitrary q positive charges from infinity to that point. But I have to find the work done for unit charge. Suppose I am bringing a q positive charge from infinity to this point and I have done a work w. So what will be the work done for moving unit positive charge? That will be w by q, and this is what known as potential to that point, Vp. Clear? So it is w by q. Work done in moving q charge from infinity to that point. When you divide it with the amount of charge, you will automatically get the work done in moving the charge, the work done in moving unit positive charge from infinity to that point. And this is what the concept of potential comes over here. Okay. Now, if I have another point q, again I am bringing a unit positive charge from infinity to that point. So I am bringing that from infinity to that point. Whatever work, suppose here I am doing w dash work and this charge is q dash. So potential Vq will be w dash by q dash. So this is the potential at point q over here. Then what will be the potential difference? The potential difference is Vp and Vq's difference, which will be known as V, name potential difference. Clear? So this is what we have as a potential difference. Now if I want to find the unit for potential difference, so first we will go for the definition of potential difference. The definition of potential difference is saying, we have already understood the definitions of individual potentials, that what is a potential. From infinity to that point you are bringing, doing work, divided with charge, you will get the potential. But what about the potential difference? Now if I want to move the charge from P to Q, I am trying to move that unit positive charge from P to Q, and the work done over here is W. So the potential difference is work done per unit charge known as V. That means the amount of work done in moving a unit positive charge from one point to another is called potential difference. Infinity to that point is the potential, and from one point to another is the potential difference. Okay?
2, 3.
Okay, so this is the definition that we have learned, formula for V, that is the potential difference. Now we will learn about its unit. So what is the SI unit of work? Joule. What is the SI unit of charge? Coulomb. So we can say it is joule per coulomb, which can be written as J C to the power minus 1, is known as volt. And by symbol we write it as V. Now it's a very funny thing over here that the symbol for potential is also V and the SI unit of potential is also V. Okay, but it is a symbol, it is the unit volt. Don't get confused between it. Now we will define what is 1 volt. We will define the SI unit of volt. So 1 volt is 1 joule by 1 coulomb. So from here we can say that if 1 joule of work is done in bringing 1 coulomb charge from infinity to that point, then potential difference is 1 volt. And if the same thing, if I use for potential difference, if I say potential difference potential difference is 1 volt. That means if 1 joule of work is done in bringing 1 coulomb charge from one point to another, then it is the potential difference between those 2 points is 1 volt. Clear? So this is what we have as a potential difference. Now we will learn about EMF and how do we relate EMF and potential difference. So basically from here, now though we call it EMF, that is electromotive force, as I said before also, it is not a force. It is actually, the SI unit of our EMF is also volt. Okay, so now what is the technical definition of EMF we are saying? Now suppose you are going to a shop, you are buying a battery. Over there in the battery you will see it's written 1.5 volt, 3 volt, 6 volt, 9 volt, whatever the voltage is written on the battery, that is your EMF. That means suppose your battery is there and it is not connected to any circuit, not connected, or we can say it's an open circuit. When no current is drawn from the battery, then the potential difference of this 2 terminal is actually the EMF for a battery. And whenever you connect this battery to a circuit, when you connect this battery to a circuit, it becomes potential difference. So at the 2 terminals of the battery, the potential difference, that's what we are getting over there. Okay, that time it is not anymore a EMF. So technically if we compare, we will always see that the EMF of a battery is always greater than the PD given by the battery when it is connected to the circuit. That means suppose this battery is 12 volt, and when you will check the output, you will see that over here the current that you are getting, the potential difference that you are getting may be around 9 volts or 8 volt, like this. So there will be always a voltage drop. We use that word as a voltage drop. There is always a voltage drop when we connect a battery to a circuit. That means when the battery is in closed circuit, there will be always a potential drop or voltage drop. So now if I say the symbol for EMF is epsilon, potential is V and the voltage drop is V dash, this is how we can connect it. Epsilon V plus small v, where this is my EMF, this is my PD, and this is the voltage drop. Now why do we have this voltage drop? From here we will start the concept of resistance, which we will do it in our next class.
Welcome back again. Hopefully you all have seen the video, you have understood, and the concepts are clear to you. All the media links are given in the description box below. Please follow my Instagram page and the Facebook page. Definitely you will get the updates over there. Thank you very much for watching the video and hope to see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.